Welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC. I'm Dan Thomas, joined in the studio today by Stewart, Robson and Stevie Nicol. When it comes to Club World Cup, it's been quite polarising, hasn't it? Some have loved it, some have hated it. Not surprising, though, one man who has definitely loved it was Gianni Infantino. The FIFA president has come out and, he's joined by some big boys there on stage, including Del Piero, Kaká, Ronaldo, Baggio, all there to support the FIFA president. I'm sure they were very much enjoying their time in New York. This is what he had to say, in particular what they've learned about this tournament looking ahead to the World Cup next summer. Obviously the weather has been a big talking point, hasn't it? And this is what he had to say about what's going to happen in the future. It's been a huge, huge success. And the golden era of football has started. Of course, the heat is an issue. Last year at the Olympic Games in Paris, games during the day in all sports took place in very hot conditions. Cooling breaks are very important, and we will see what we can do. But we have stadiums with roofs, and we will definitely use these stadiums during the day next year. Stevie, the golden era of football. How lucky we are to be living in it.
And we've got it right at the very start as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Forget what's happened in the past. No. That's been rubbish.
Yeah. And so, I guess he never mentioned anything about the fields.
No, I don't believe the fields were mentioned.
Oh, they don't. That doesn't count.
No, the heat obviously was.
So how many stadiums have got roofs?
I think 4 we've counted.
4.
I think
well, the problem is there are 46 teams in this, right?
48.
48.
Yes.
48. So 4 into 48. That's a lot of games in 4 stadiums, isn't it?
Mark Ogden is with us. Julien Laurent as well. We'll be hearing from Jules in a moment. But Oggy, you were at the press conference. What a privilege.
Yeah, I think press conference is probably overselling it a bit. It was sold as a media scrum, which is probably the best way to describe it. We're all kind of behind a bit of a barrier, having to shout questions in and just hoping that Gianni Infantino and his legends would take our time. But yeah, it was a bit of a strange scenario. There was a coffee machine above the press conference, and every time somebody wanted a coffee, you heard this kind of percolator making a hissing sound, and somebody banging the barista was banging the coffee on the wall. So it was quite a shambles, really, but it kind of summed up the environment. We're in the Trump Tower lobby having a press conference.
So negative, Oggy, to it all. Obviously, the big takeaways are the fact that they feel like they've learned a lesson with regarding the weather, but it is interesting what the boys brought up, how many stadiums actually have roofs and can cater to this idea of having covered matches in the World Cup next summer in the afternoon, Mark.
You know, there's 4 stadiums so far. There's Dallas, there's Vancouver, there's Houston, and there's one more, Atlanta. So there's only 4 stadiums, and I don't think that is enough to kind of carry the load. So obviously all these cities that are hosting games will have signed contracts with FIFA. They'll be expecting a big windfall financially from this. So I can't see FIFA taking games away from cities that have stadiums without roofs, but they may have to add maybe one venue with the roof. So you've got the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. I think there might be one in Phoenix as well. But these are questions that FIFA need to answer, because what Infantino said was they will use these stadiums with roofs and air conditioning during the daytime. So obviously there's got a lot of games. You can't play all of the games in daytime under a roof. So they've still got some issues to address. But I don't think he can deliver it. But then equally, Gianni Infantino, he can deliver what he wants, because he put Inter Miami into the Club World Cup.
Well, yes, indeed. Jules, what do you make of Infantino's comments, given that they've learned the lesson going forward?
Yeah, I mean, we could have told him before the start of the tournament what was going to happen anyway. We all knew that the weather especially. He talks about the Olympics in Paris. There was no football matches at 3 p.m. local time in the heat in Paris, for example. All the games were much later or in the evening. You had other events, yes, in the heat, but not football. And I think I agree with what the boys have been saying and what Oggy has just been saying. 4 stadiums with a roof for all those teams, all those games. You might add 2 or 3 in each of those stadiums, but still, you will have a lot of games, even in the afternoon, that are played somewhere else. 4 stadiums out of 16, by the way. That's not many at all. So good luck with that.
Obviously, Mark, he's defined it as a huge, huge success. Positive and negatives for you who've travelled around during the knockout stages within this tournament. Has there been more positives than indeed negatives?
It's a hard one to say, obviously. I mean, look, the crowds at the semi-finals in New Jersey have been great. I think there'll be a full house on Sunday at the final. I think a lot of the teams that have been involved, certainly the South American teams, have really enjoyed it, and the fans have been fantastic. I think a lot of the moans and gripes have come from the European teams, and you know that is because they've had a long season. They don't want to be here because they're tired, etc., etc. And the heat has caught a lot of people out. But you know, I think it has been an overall positive competition. But as long as they use the lessons that they've learned this time to implement next year, because it's a bigger tournament next year. There's 48 teams, there's going to be many more fans. I think more games are going to be held up by the weather because there's more games. A lot of fans will be caught out by the travelling because, as we know, flights can be delayed, cancelled. So I think they have to learn the lessons and put them into place, because otherwise you'll get games called off and then that will make a real mess of the schedule. What's going to happen then if you have to get 5 games in a day, if you have to get games, in, final group games that should be played simultaneously, if they're disrupted by the weather? So a lot of issues to address, but in terms of the covered stadiums, they've left that way too late. I don't think they can deal with that now, because there's too many games that will have to be played away from covered stadiums.
Robert, has this tournament exceeded expectations in your eyes?
Yes, it has. Not because I think it's been a great tournament, because I'm totally against it. I think it's too much football. It was the wrong tournament to have at this time of the year, and any year. Come to that, but I was surprised at the intensity of some of the games. I was surprised by some of the quality of the games. We just saw those semi-finals and PSG played out their skin. We saw PSG go and press the ball in one of the games against Inter Miami and didn't let Inter Miami play whatsoever. So there was a lot of intensity. There was lots of good football, but it's the wrong time of year to play it, and I think there's too much football, and it's going to damage some of the players.
I can honestly say that in the proper World Cup with the countries, from the first game to the last game, I'm right in it.
Right.
And I can honestly tell you, in this competition, it wasn't until, I'm going to be generous and say the quarterfinals, that I kind of got into it, which, from my point of view, the rest of it was pretty meaningless.
Jules, you've been a big proponent of this competition, very much loving every moment of it.
No, I think he's been good. I share some of the points from Robo and from Stevie. I think maybe this time, for the first time, there were too many teams. You could have easily started with 12 or 24 and see how that worked out with less teams. I think to go straight to 32 was a lot. And we've seen at times teams that shouldn't have been there, games that really shouldn't have been played either. But I think overall it's been good. The football has been probably better than what we expected. Not in every game, but in some of the games. I agree with Robo. Some performances for some teams have been really good. Individually, it was good. It was good to see teams that we don't get used to see too many times in Europe. For example, the South American teams and even MLS teams against European teams. I think we've enjoyed that. We've enjoyed the Brazilian teams, for example, more than the Argentines. So overall, I've enjoyed watching it.
Thank God for PSG, though, Mark. Overall, you take a look at the quality that's been on the show. I think if you take them out of this tournament, then it goes down a lot, doesn't it, as a spectacle?
Yeah, I want Jules to turn the volume down now, because I'm going to praise PSG. I mean, listen, they've been the best team by far. They're the best team in the world. I mean, I think they're the best team we've seen since Barcelona that Pep had. They're such a good team to watch. Every department of that team is top level. Now, I don't see how Chelsea got a chance, but they've really lit up the tournament. I think they will have developed a bigger fan base in the US because of it, because they play such an interesting way, such an exciting way, and fans will latch onto that. So, PSG have been a great advert for the tournament. And, listen, whoever wins tomorrow will deserve to win, but if Chelsea win, I think it will have a different kind of complexion on the tournament. It needs the best team in the world to win the first Club World Cup, I think.
Just a reminder, plenty of content looking back at the Club World Cup and what we've learned from it over on our YouTube channel. Just be sure to go to ESPN FC and subscribe.